Oh, that's my good USB-C cable. This is Oh, okay. Hang on. I'm here. I'm here. I am here. I am here. Wait. Hello. 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 Hello, people in the chat. Hello. How are you doing? You all good? I'm trying to sort my thing out. Bear with me. You can see the Tridget is active, waiting for chat. There we go. Not quite working properly. Try rebooting it. There we go. Hi, everybody. Just once, I want everybody to reply, "Hi, Dr. Nick." That would honestly, that would make me so happy. That's okay though. And once again, we wonder what Stream Elements bot is, but it is running. We see there in the chat. I hope you're all well. So if I had a portable camera that wasn't screwed to my desk, I would move you and show you right now. But there is, as my lovely girlfriend would say, construction going on outside my house. Or as I would say, there are roadworks. But, you know. I'm a bit annoyed because it's 11 o'clock on a Monday night. Not the best time for digging up the road. I hope they're looking for pink slime. Wouldn't that be awesome? And it's Halloween as well. Should I be doing... Hang on. hang on, hang on. This is quality production. You're paying money for this. You're not really. Some of you are. Thank you for that. See, we've got this. Hang on. Where is it? I thought I had a Halloween setting on the. Oh, I do. Hang on. This one's called Trick or Treat. Spooky, yeah. Mm. Or glowing grins. Or color saturation overload, as my camera might like to know it. Not enough white light. Spellbound. Oh, it's like there's a witch. I can hear banging outside. There's a fucking digger and everything. And it's pissing me off, quite frankly. But here's the problem, because I've been yelling at Yorkshire Porter. This one's called Witching Hour. Pandemonium here on the Hue app. That's Pandemonium feels like it suits me best. Phantom. Yes, it's the same. Blossom. I think I've scrolled too far now. I'm gonna go with. No. Oh, no. Stop. Right, I'm just gonna stop messing with my lights and go to the tried and tested purple. Are we purple? We're all purple. Okay. I tried to do the Halloween theme a few years ago. And I wish I hadn't, so I'm not doing it again. Quite frankly, it's not so bad on a live stream because at least today is Halloween, technically, right? So if you know, we're all watching, oh, Halloween, whatever. I've spent it glaring at workmen. But and I'm actually quite proud of myself with this, right? So I'm on the third floor of my house, or second floor of my house if you're British. And I'm looking out of the window just there, which you can't see. You have to believe me, it's there. And staring down at the work going off. I think I'm doing to inconvenience these people, to piss them off back, because that's the way my mind works, right? This idea, I am being inconvenienced, I am pissed off now, and now I have to do something to get these people back in some way for some reason. Hello, Lenny in the chat room. And obviously I didn't. I'm sat here now because there was no happy ending to that story. And I'm still thinking about how close I would have come in the past with some of the things I did. I have moved roadworks in my life, which now I think back was probably a spectacularly dumb thing to do. But I did it. So it was Yorkshire Water again, actually, up in the village where I used to live, and they had just blocked off a road, like the one road going through the village. They just blocked it off, and they dug it up and did their work, and then tarmacked it over, and then left it, like still road worked up. Because clearly the idea of setting up the roadworks, doing the work, tarmacking the road, then removing the roadworks was the work of sort of like 3 or 4 different subcontractors. So someone came and put the roadworks out, someone came and dug up the road, someone came and did the work, then someone came and put the road back, then someone came and took the roadworks away. And that was like, you know, so I got pissed off and I just moved them and reopened the road. And some people cheered, but I was psychotic. At the time, I felt very pleased with myself because, as I said in today's video, which I know you've all seen by now, we always think we're right. We always think that what we're doing is the right thing to do, that sense is on our side, when in actual fact, nah, not so much. Not so much at all. Um, and I'm glad that as I was sat looking out of my window and imagining what of their roadworks I might run off with in order to make them stop work and chase me, or stupid things like that. Is there somewhere I could move my car to that would inconvenience them? All things that would ultimately result in me not getting what I wanted, which is for them to fuck off. Now, we're also ignoring the big point. Why are they even there? Right? Because they're not Ghostbusters checking for slime. They aren't people who dig up the road as a hobby. They are people doing work for the water company. And so they're doing something, and they're insisting to me, as are the water company, who I have been in touch with, that one of my neighbors down the street has no water. And this is an emergency situation. Now, I don't wish to deny water to my neighbor. There's something biblically wrong about that. It's such a basic thing, and they're my neighbor. It's water, water of life. Jesus gives us the water of life, you know. And so, who the fuck am I to deny them that? I don't want to do that. I just don't want my road digging up at 11 o'clock at night. That's really... They set the roadworks up on Friday. Isn't... How... What? I don't know. So screw them. But I didn't. I can come on here and rant to you. I can go on Twitter and rant at Yorkshire Water. And I have. You can go and look at it now. It's on there, at Barking. And that's my first rant tweet on there. I'm tempted to... I feel shameful now. I feel ashamed. I feel ashamed. Is there much to be ashamed of here? Hang on. Let's go to this. This is my Twitter, everybody. Hello. You'll have seen it when you go to twitter.com/barking. Going live in it. There they are. Digging. Can you even hear that? You should be able to hear that. I don't really want you to, but sorry, it wasn't working. That is like 2 feet from my front door. Seriously, those two guys, they're still there now with their fucking digger, running their fucking... He's just leaning on it, and the engine is running. That is going now. I think they've turned it off right now. And then they start responding, and I said they were rude. It feels good to be able to say to customer service people that they were the rude one. And of course, we all know the joke is that when I show you my screen, it's because I want to smoke something. And they dug, and I kind of obsessively have posted lots of these things. They started at 9:30. I feel like I could have got it done by now. Is this a lot of... This is a lot of posting, isn't it? Should I delete some of that? What do you reckon? Happy Halloween. Now, as you say here, look, where are we? First of all, I didn't know that emoji that you've used is the rolling on the floor laugh. That's the crying, laughing emoji, isn't it? Is that rolling on the floor laughing? Because that's how the thing's picked it up in text. Anyway, that shows as an actual emoji on YouTube. I don't know how you keep it cool. I would have shouted out my window by now. I kind of did. Right. So here's what did happen. So they were going, And I was getting annoyed. I'd gone downstairs to my living room because they were literally 2 feet from my living room window, and I just sat just watching them, with them looking at me like, "Hey, that dude's watching us. What's he gonna do?" I'm not gonna do anything. I'm sat in my living room. I was waiting for my pizza. Actually, was what I was doing. Um, and suddenly outside there was a bit of a kerfuffle. I could hear raised voices, that sort of thing, and uh, went to my door, looked out, and realized it was my neighbor. Who was shouting at them, saying they're taking the piss doing this on 9 o'clock on a Monday. He's got kids in bed, etc. He's going to bed soon. For I'm totally there with him, and so I sort of joined in with, yeah, yeah, total piss. What he said, all this stuff. Yeah, it's not for that's my bedroom window. So I joined in with that, and the obligatory. Oh, I know it's not your fault. You're just doing your job, but yeah, and all of that. I hope I'm not keeping him up because he's on the other side of that wall. I don't know how thick that wall is. Put it this way, I never hear them, so I assume they never hear me. Um, I heard a bang then, but that's probably the roadwork people, isn't it? There's men digging up the street. The whole house was shaking earlier. So that's what I did, and I've since actually been out and had an actual human conversation with the guys down there. We're all friends now. We're gonna go on a night out, perhaps a boys' holiday, that kind of thing. So I didn't do nothing, and I did rant on Twitter, but I have not shouted at those two guys down there. And I'm. Do you know what? The other thing I might have done is sack this off in a huff. Right? It would have been very easy to just not do this live stream in a bit of a huff. Like, because it's that whole, if something's not perfect, then it's ruined. And if the world isn't being quiet, isn't taking into account the fact that I'm doing a live stream now, then I have to sack it off because it's ruined, right? I can't possibly struggle to go somewhere else, think of something else, make a feature of the background noise, whatever. Do you know what? I wish I could have gone out and done a live. That's bizarre. That was a big spontaneous yawn. I do apologize. I should have. Did I make caffeinated coffee or decaf? Damn, this is decaf. I don't know why I'm drinking it. It's doing nothing. It might as well be pop. Do I have it? I'm out of that as well. So, forgot what I was saying. I've been drinking A&W root beer. Not usually available in the UK, it's big in America. I'm reliably informed by somebody that this is the only brand of root beer worth bothering with. And it's available from my local Sainsbury's on their little American little column on a shelf at an extortionate rate of money for a can of it. But I've started drinking it and I really like it now and I don't want to stop. So I always end up getting some. And I can't afford to do that. It's like £1.50 a can. That's obscene. Do you know how many actual bottles of pop that is? Just because I have to be like, oh no, I want NW root beer. I don't have pop in the house anymore. It rotted my teeth out. That was a big. There's a self-care break I'm still paying for and will be paying for forever. When I went through a period of not brushing my teeth. Which I can only imagine was fairly unpleasant to be around. But I didn't brush my teeth properly for years. Years and years. And so now just cavities. I need, right now as I sit here, sort of 8 fillings. 8 fillings and a tooth pulling. Actually. I need basically a grand's worth of dental work. And I can't afford that. Obviously. So, yeah, my teeth hurt so much. But no problem. Well, no, you're welcome. I'm glad you're all here watching. I'm glad you're all here. It helps. We're a little bit later for the US today because of daylight savings. I think we're back at 6 o'clock for the Americans next week. I know 7 p.m. is kind of a better time to do it on a weekday. I understand that. It's just that makes it midnight for me, and I'm old now. I'm so God. Look, right, right. I went for an eye test today. Okay, and right, you get given this form. You get given this. So this is my. I have it here. My personal recommendation from Specsavers. Is that showing up? There's a nice lady with glasses. And in here, they put your prescription. Where is it? This is it. You probably won't be able to see this very well at all. But this is it. Right. And I don't know the actual technicalities of how this works, but this is a grid. And on it, there is space to write lots of different numbers that indicate how bad your eyes are at different angles, points, views, whatever, right? And the last time I got given one of these, on this whole grid, so there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns, and 6 columns, 2 rows, 1 for each eye. And last prescription I got, of all the spaces to write numbers, there were numbers in one box. And it said 0.25 in one box. And today, she's written in a lot more of the boxes. Many, many, many more of the boxes. Some of them have larger numbers in than 0.25 as well. And, you know, I haven't been through a chemical spill or any other eye injury. I've just aged 2 years since the last one. But what really got to me, right, and I'm fine with needing glasses. I think I look good in glasses. This is the thing, right? I think I look kind of cool in glasses. Even if it's a bit of a nerdy cool thing, I think that's a thing. So I'm fine with wearing glasses, right? But I'm trying, so I'm in the shop and I'm stood trying on glasses. And I try on pair after pair, different colors, shapes, sizes, whatever. And every time I put a pair on, I look at myself in the mirror and think to myself, God, I look old like my dad. These are all old man glasses. They're making me look old like my dad. And then I realized it wasn't the frames that was the problem. It was me. I just look old, unlike my dad. There's really no doubt of my parentage. It's just oh God. What a depressing thing. No, I've looked for the paperwork for the evidence, but I am not adopted. I have, no one, they are definitely mine. I've tried getting blood tests, but definitely my parents. So anyway, I actually did have something to talk about before Yorkshire Water started digging up my street because my neighbours have no water of life. I'll show you something here. This is my TikTok. Say hello, TikTok. Hello, TikTok. And sorry, I've just tickled myself. And so right on here, this is today's TikTok. I mean, you go and see it. Get yourself TikTok. It's great. Where was the comment? There's a couple of these. There's a couple of these. And this is it. Jade, we need words. I can't zoom in on it. There's no zoom function on this, is there? That would be clever. But this is OBS. and this is not Call of Duty 2. But I've had a comment here from Jade. And Jade says, this will not work for someone who is not in or has never been in treatment. Jade, fuck off. Calm down. Right. Listen. Let me tell you something. I'm going to give you an education. This is really beginning to piss me off. This attitude. And it's not just Jade, right? It's not just Jade. There's some others. This is real, but I can't make myself do it if they trigger me too bad. This would definitely work if I had the ability to currently jump from 1 to 100 in a heartbeat. I think that person meant the other way around. Is this advice for the non-aware in denial or the aware? Right. That's not quite relevant. Here we go. The very essence of my BPD is that I blow up in the moment, incredibly impulsive. If it was this easy, we'd all do that. Right. Okay. So here's what I'm hearing. You need to be in treatment for things to work. And you can't do the things that work because of your BPD. Let me just... Okay. So you have to be in treatment for any of this to help. And there's no point in trying it because your BPD is just so bad. I can't accept any of that. That's all bollocks. Sorry. I don't want to be too harsh on you there. But that's bullshit. I swear on live streams more than I do on recorded videos because I'm not looking for the ad revenue on here, by the way. So that's what that is. That's why I'm happy to swear. Does anyone in the live chat want to tell me what's wrong with that picture? Do you want to right? You BPD, let's deal with a couple of things. Nothing works unless you're in treatment. What do you think treatment is? What do you think treatment for this is? Right? What do you think that involves? Because what it involves is trying things that people say help, and some of them help. That's what it is. Right? This whole idea that you go to therapy and therapy is like lessons, and you have lessons on how to deal with your BPD or something like that, that they in some way teach you things there, like you're going to learn how to be better at having BPD, that kind of thing. And that is not even remotely one tiny little bit whatsoever what happens in therapy. That's not therapy. That might be more DBT, actually. No, not even then. Not even then. No. That's not any therapy. What I suggest, the things I tell people to do, are not therapy. Well, no, sorry. Oh, cut that from the live stream and use that against me one day, why don't you? Yeah. The things that I tell people to do are not therapy, in the sense that therapy is talking about your problems, getting to the root causes of your problems, that sort of thing. When I tell you to do something like the Do It Tomorrow video, that's like a little tip, a little hint, a little trick, a little hack of living with BPD, right? That's not fucking therapy, right? And you don't need to be in the therapy for it to help you. It has nothing to do with the therapy. that little thing. That's just a little day-to-day thing, and that's how I present these things, right? This is not therapy. If you can get therapy instead of watching me. You can do both, but don't just do this, right? I cannot stress that enough. That's always been where I've stood. Therapy is awesome and brilliant, and it saved my life. And if you can do it, I recommend, as much as anyone can recommend anything, that you do it, right? And nothing you can find on YouTube by me or any other creator comes close to replicating what you can do in therapy, right? That said, when I tell you to try things like have your outrage tomorrow, you don't need to be in therapy for that to work, right? What do you think they taught me in therapy for me to be able to do that? Absolutely nothing whatsoever. Nothing whatsoever. In therapy, we talked about why I'm getting angry. Where do those feelings come from? Who am I really getting angry? What am I really angry about? Where do those feelings come from? We discussed these things in past videos, right? This is not a secret. I've always talked about this stuff. But this whole idea that there's things I can suggest that any one of you can't do is absolutely ludicrous. That it implies that I have some special ability of some kind, which, look, I'm fucking narcissist. I would love to sit here and tell you that I'm better than you. I would love to sit here and tell you that I'm special. I fixed it and you can't because I'm special. I would fucking love to sit here and tell you that, but that would be a lie. That would be a complete and utter lie. I'm not special. I'm not better than. I'm not cleverer than. I just did a thing. And the idea that somebody else's BPD is somehow worse than mine and prevents them from doing anything about it. Do you think I felt like on day one? Or, no, on day minus 150? Right? A couple of months before I started therapy, I was on top of a car park in town ready to hurl myself off the top of it. And do you know what? I drive past that car park nearly every day, and I look at it and I think, I'd have just really hurt myself. I'd be a fucking mess right now if I throw myself off the top of that. I wouldn't have died. I'd have been very lucky if it had killed me. But that's one reason out of a billion why you don't go down that road of thinking. And when those times were happening, when everything was the darkest, when everything was the worst thing that could be happening, yeah, I thought I couldn't do anything about this. There was no light at the end of the tunnel. There was just darkness. I didn't even know I was in a tunnel, right? And now I couldn't be further from wanting to hurt myself or having those problems or feeling that way, right? I couldn't be further from it. And I'm not special or important. I'm not better. I just did a thing. I just did therapy, and I looked for things I could do to make my own life easier. And that's where Do It Tomorrow came from. That's what that is, right? That's me looking at my life, looking at the things that I do and realizing I do things too quickly. I get angry, I go from 0 to 100 in the blink of an eye, and I blow up the world. I need to find a way to stop doing that, because regardless of the reason why I'm doing it, that's therapy, that I still need to stop doing it. And taking time, doing it tomorrow, whatever, helped a lot. Helped massive amounts. It stopped me blowing up and destroying things. And almost daily, I come up with examples of things that just make me smile because I didn't do what I used to do before I did things tomorrow. For example, shouting at roadmen. You know, And so I stand by it as good advice, and I stand against being told that this is only for people who are in therapy, who are getting treatment, and that it's only for people who have BPD that isn't so bad. Is this mixing in BPD and MPD, this entitlement to, but I have it the worst. My BPD is the worst BPD. I can't possibly do anything about mine. I know lots of people get better from this, but not me. I'm so bad with it. What do you think we all feel like? And look, I can put up with a lot of down feeling surrounding BPD. There's a lot of it. There are a lot of reasons to feel sad, a lot of reasons to be upset about stuff, and there are all these feelings that we have that bring us down, that depress us, that make us all the blankets, all that shit, right? But what I do need from you all, what I do want you all to have as an absolute minimum, and I will not accept any less from any of you on this one, what I need you to have is the belief, no, the knowledge that it is possible to treat this stuff. That it is possible to get better. It is possible to feel better than you do. That's it. That's what I need from you all. Wherever you are in your journey, whatever, I need you to understand and accept that the way you feel, however bad it is, can be moved. It might take a long time. It might be very hard work. It might not happen the first time you try it, but it can happen. And I know that it can happen because I did it. And I have numerous anecdotal incidents of other people doing it too, right? I was in group. I watched other people do it along with me. And I watched them go from the person that they were when we started to the person that we were when they left. That they were when they left. And I went through that same thing. And I did it, and they did it. And this idea of, oh, I wish I could get better, but my BPD is so bad. Fuck off. I can't. I'm not equipped to work with the level of self-delusion that it's not even possible to fix these. That you can be so bad with it that you can't be fixed. I never, that is a level of low that I never got to, and I contemplated so many bad things so many times. I was bad with it. I was untreated for decades. 20 years I was fobbed off with antidepressants. And now I get told that, oh, you've got to be in therapy for these things to work. Bullshit. Bullshit. It's just not true. And the fact that I'm sat here, the fact that I'm doing a live stream, and the fact that I didn't die at the bottom of a fucking Keighley car park is proof of that. Absolutely irrefutable proof. And I'm sick to the back teeth of people not understanding that this such a level of defeat that you can't get better, that it's not possible. What utter rubbish. If you really believe that, Why are you even watching my fucking videos on TikTok? What are you doing this with everybody else's videos? Are you watching? Because, right, I'm not the only BPD creator on the planet. There are millions of us, surely. And I'm guessing that the others are giving out bits of advice as well. Are these people going around everybody's videos, watching the advice and going, yeah, but that won't work for me? Because what a pointless existence. No wonder you feel sad. Oh. This is when the MPD part of my brain has total and utter disdain for the BPD part of my brain. It hates it. It loathes it. It's fucking disgusted by it. How dare it feel so down? You know? I don't understand. I just don't understand. Hi, Isabel. Yeah, there are people who just don't care. And I worry that for some people, this becomes an identity in and of itself. The idea that having BPD, being a person with BPD, is in itself some form of identity. I, I swear to God. Oh, thank you, Lenny. Welcome to the Paisley package. I swear, if I hear somebody say they identify as having BPD, I may get violent. But I do worry that for a lot of people it becomes a thing and they don't want to get better. And I can only imagine that if they've reached that point, then they are living with it and coping with it to a certain extent. Because, in all honesty, when I felt as bad as I got, I would have done anything to end the pain that I was in. I would not have stayed with it. I would not have argued that you couldn't be fixed. I was going to fucking kill myself to stop that pain. Right? That was why I would do it. I needed to stop feeling how I felt. And that was my only way out that I could find. Because no one would give me the help that I knew existed. I was being fobbed off as having depression, which was just absolutely not the case. And yeah, this idea that it's an identity that you can live with, that you just want to stay in it. No, you don't. No, you don't. It's not something you want to stay in. It's not something you want to live with and put up with because you can't. The MPD you can live with a whole lot more. You only upset other people with that, and you don't care about it so much. So that's easier to put up with from your own point of view. It's not pleasant for those around you. But the BPD, no, you can't live with that. Not properly. Not if you're really going through it, because that is pain unlike you can't imagine. You just can't imagine how much that hurt when it was as bad as it got. And that was 4 years ago now. That was a long time ago. You know, it's been a long time since I felt that. You know, it's yeah, it's difficult. So I do wonder, do people try to hold on to it to try to not get better? Are they really that bad? Well, clearly something's not right. Clearly something's not right if they're trying to hold on to having BPD. Because they need that. And it feels like it can in itself fill that sense of identity. I'm just trying to think back. Because I'm thinking about the idea of that being a phase of getting better, actually. When you go from uh, not knowing about what's wrong with you, not having a name for it, all of this sort of thing, to you suddenly you get told what's wrong with you, or you figure out what's wrong with you, and you then need to fix it. But while you're fixing it, you're stuck with this lack of self, lack of personality, lack of everything, and you've suddenly found a thing that is you, right? You've suddenly found BPD. And here's a bit of identity. Here's something I know is me, right? And so you suddenly get this little scrap of identity, this little scrap of something you can say about yourself that is definitely you. And your goal has to be, oddly enough, to get rid of it. Because while it is something that you can say about yourself, while it is a quality you have, it's not one you want, and it's not one you can live with. So you have to be wanting to get rid of it. But I can totally see, now we think about it, how somebody could become attached to it. Because it gives an identity, doesn't it? You know. Thank you, Angel. It's that when someone has nothing else and suddenly they're a person with BPD. So why get rid of it? Why do anything about it? And well, the truth is, the real answer to that question, why do anything about it, is so you can feel better and you're not a person with BPD, and ideally, so you can fill that gap with good things. Right? So you can say things like, I have a YouTube channel. I have a TikTok thing that's doing rather well. I play bass in a band. All these other things that make up a person that you are. You know, I have other hobbies. There are things I do with my girlfriend. There's my dog that I spend time with and play with and take on walks and that sort of thing. All these things that make up a person. And none of them are having BPD. I do have BPD. This is perfectly true. But it's not who I am. It's just something I put up with, and I'm not dragging it around with me anymore. So these people who want to hold on to it, what are you doing? What are you can fix this. But I don't know. I don't know where the disconnect comes for me. In that I've noticed that just in general, since I've been in the last sort of 3 years, since I've been online talking about this stuff and doing stuff relating to mental health and that sort of thing, you see a lot of people talking about their problems. God, I've totally lost my train of thought there. What was like, this is why I need another person to talk to. Shit. No, that's gone. It's getting late. This is why we don't do these at midnight. I know where I was. Yeah, I've totally lost my train of thought. If you can get me back on track in the chat room. Things people say about their mental health online ever since I've been. I don't know. I've come to the end of that, right? I'm ranting about that now and I'm done. I just want people to know they can get better. And I don't care if they watch my videos or someone else's videos to do it or have therapy or whatever they do. But I hate having people believe that they can't get better. Like, what do you think therapists do? Like, you know, anyway. How's the chat room? How are you all in the chat? Right, we've got things going on here. Let's see. It gave an identity exactly what it's type. Yeah, we did that one. Yeah, true. Then why psych? My ex couldn't even. For example, he told me out of the blue, well discarded. I'm a bit lost there. Sorry, everybody. Oh, there we go. Sorry, my ex knows exactly what he's going to do in a relationship. Just why he puts a mask on each and every time monkey bars into a new relationship and the Hunger Games begin. Yeah, I can't repeat things. Sorry, I'm reading the chat now. You're talking about emotional projection in the chat there. I try not to play with people's emotions anymore these days. I never did that. I was never an emotion player. Not romantically. Like that. I was always too BPD, right? You know, when your MPD starts rocking the relationship boat, you can destroy it. And I was always too fear of abandonmenty to start fucking about with shit like that. I wouldn't dare risk things, you know. Did I project a lot? Possibly sometimes, yeah. Did I project as much as I was accused of? Absolutely not. All right, if he owns his disorder as his identity, why project? Because he's still living his disorder. And the disorder involves projection. Whether he knows he's got it, whether he's doing it on purpose or not. And the projection, that takes some time. And that took me some therapy to accept that I did it. Right? It's a difficult one to accept projection because you don't know you're doing it. So especially on the I'm assuming we're talking MPD narcissism now. And yeah, I don't think you know you're doing it. Especially when you're accusing people of things. I don't think you know you're doing it. And especially as I've talked about, you know, as I've said, when I talk about the narcissist giving away what their insecurities are because it's the things we talk about, we wouldn't do that if we knew we were doing it. Really. And so I think people who are, you know, even if they know what they've got, even if people know they have BPD or MPD, whatever, then the masking and projection, it's still defensive. And the fact that you can know that you have these things wrong, but unless you've worked to the root cause of fixing them, then those problems are still going to be there, right? You know, I knew I had BPD at the start of therapy, but I still had to do therapy. I didn't just feel better right away. I remembered what I was going to talk about earlier, people getting upset when they found out they got BPD. That was it. Remember that I said that for when I forget it again in a few seconds. I was looking at people's reactions to how they feel about getting BPD. You'd see so many people posting that, oh, I've been told I've got BPD and now I'm just lost. I don't know what to do. And it's like, it's not a cancer diagnosis, right? It's not dementia. It's not Alzheimer's. It's not fucking so many things that if a doctor is to say, I'm sorry, Mr. Smith, but you've got this, then that really does ruin your day. But with BPD, with MPD, that's a kind of, oh, that's what it is. It's not, and how long have I got to live? Right? It's an, oh, is that what it is? Right. I can do, it's just a mind thing. Right. And the best thing about mental health is that a lot of it you can talk your way around. You know, excuse me yawning. There's a lot of physical health problems. If you're paralyzed, that's pretty much it, right? That's what that is. But BPD, no, you just go and sit in a room and talk to five strangers for 3 years. Sounds weird, but it works. Who'd have thought? What are you saying? Sorry, Pierre. Boo, 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 boo. He's doomed, he's in pain, but chooses to do nothing. It's the despair. It's the blanket of despair. And I think it's the same blanket that gets wrapped around those newly diagnosed people. Because it's treatable and most of the time without meds. I have had 0 meds for BPD and NPD. Absolutely none whatsoever. I was put on antidepressants at the age of 18. It started with Prozac. I have been through all of them until November 2018 was when I stopped taking them. I wasn't taking off them. I wasn't taken off them. I wasn't reduced in dose. I just stopped taking them. And it had absolutely no effect on me whatsoever. Because they were never doing anything to me in the first place. That's how that goes. If you have been prescribed antidepressants by a doctor, don't stop taking them, right? I didn't do the right thing. I did what I felt I had to do at the time. I would certainly not advise anybody to just stop taking their antidepressants. First of all, that is in and of itself, regardless of the instructions by your doctor, whether it's time to come off them or not, just stopping taking antidepressants is potentially a very dangerous thing to do. And you generally have to reduce your dosage down to nothing rather than just stop taking it. So never do that. But they were doing nothing for me. Nothing happened. I was misdiagnosed for years. Um, like you're saying there, Angel. Um, they were doing nothing. And as a specialist told me, uh, it's entirely feasible that within the 20-year period for which I was prescribed antidepressants, that at various points I did actually suffer from depression because of the statistics on depression and how it reoccurs and that sort of thing. Um, but I certainly didn't have stereotypical depression when I came off them. I had BPD and NPD. That's what I had, and they weren't doing anything to fix those. So meds, nah. But I've also never had, you know, there are antipsychotics, there are sedatives, there are beta blockers. I've never been big on anxiety. Oh, God! I've never yawned so much in a live video in my life. I actually feel quite awake as well. That's a ridiculous thing. Um, Lost my train of thought again. I do apologize. But yeah, I never had meds for what was wrong with me. Just talking. I got sat in a room with five strangers for 3 years. Honestly, that's. And I read a lot. And I watched a lot. And I listened to a lot. And I practiced a lot. And I got things wrong a lot. And I had rage after rage and blanket after blanket and despair and defeat and sadness and shame and rage and more anger and a little bit more rage and then some more despair and defeat and a bit more rage. And eventually it all just got quieter and quieter. And the things that I was dealing with got further away and less bad. And I started dealing with the effects on me, and I didn't need medication. That was the thing. But that's, it's not, that's not a point of pride. That's just how it went. And, had a doctor recommended that I tried a medication, I might well have tried it. I'm not anti-medication on any level. I'm very pro-science, doing what your doctor says. Go for it. Despite being misdiagnosed for a number of years, I don't think that was the fault of any one person. I think these things are fantastically difficult to diagnose and to figure out. And I'm just at this point, I'm just happy I got help, and now I can offer help to other people to a certain extent. It seems like a good little payback for the whole thing. I love giving out advice that people say helps them. That's the best part of it. That and some banging figures on TikTok. Have you seen my TikTok yet? Have you seen my YouTube shorts? The question is, has anyone seen my YouTube shorts? Not just you guys in the live chat, not just, just anyone. It's yeah, YouTube shorts. They don't do well. Where are we? Has this new one started yet? Not really. It's not being put on the... Oh, has it? 70 views. Is that all it's getting? Maybe. Oh, it might be blowing up now. What is this? Your grandma watches me and she thinks I'm very nice. Thank you. Hi, Grandma. I do appreciate that. That's lovely. Yeah, I still can't figure out YouTube Shorts, by the way. In terms of... I know how they work. I can post one, obviously. What I can't figure out how you do is get people to watch them. And to give you an example, let's show you some figures here. Hang on. Hang on. Just desktop. Lack of emotional permanence. This is the stats page for my lack of emotional permanence short. This video has had 230 views since it was published. And you can see here, it goes along with pretty much nothing for the first 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, and then it jumps up to about there, 144ish, and then it takes the next 3 days to go like that, right? That's that video there. That's this video here, actually. Let's have a look at some numbers on this video. Can we see some? What do we have? Well, oh, view. It's right there. View analytics. Let's look at the analytics of this video. Same video. 55.5 thousand views, 10,000 likes, 132 comments, 277 shares. Same video. Exact same video. 230 views on YouTube. 55.5 thousand views. 55,500 views on TikTok. And this is all you do, right? You write the thing, you put these hashtags on it. And if I show you my, and look at the editor. No, that's the actual editor, isn't it? Details. That's where. There's your tags. Same tags. BPD recovery, support, awareness. All that. You don't put BPD TikTok on there, obviously. But 230 views on YouTube. 55,000 views on TikTok. And that's great. That is great. Yes, hi Isabel's grandma. Thank you for watching. So that's from a creator point of view. I know this is a bit off topic. We're near the end of the live stream anyway. I've been going out, but what the fuck? That is keeping me up at night. Seriously, right? Today's video that I've posted on TikTok. We're going back to the. This is today's video, right? Posted a few hours ago, 4:28 this afternoon. 5,907 views. Let's look this up on YouTube. What is it doing on YouTube, I wonder, this same video? Let's have a look. Well, it's the one that's going now. 3 magic words to help you cope with BPD. 114 views. See, it's on the uprise. And it's going to go up very quickly, and then it will plateau and just go across, much like this shape, which is what they all do. And I think this is when a shorts gets put on the shorts shelf. The short shelf. Where take you to? Can we see a short shelf on a YouTube page? So this is YouTube. This is the short shelf. And so my short is currently showing up on this bit of the YouTube page for the relevant people. That is happening right now. That is what that is. Where are we at? 114 views. Let's refresh the page. 122. It's going up while we're sat here talking like this. We can see it on the live thing here. Spiking now. And I think it's going down. Because that's a minute to minute. That's the last 60 minutes. So I think we've peaked. That's it. And so I don't know. This is clearly going to peak somewhere there, because that is already slowing down massively. So that's done. So that video, 122 views on YouTube, 129 views. Same video currently on my TikTok, 5,950 views. Same vid, posted at the same time. Same hashtags, all that. I don't know. Would you ever... Okay, hang on. Bring me back. Hi, Bobby. That's the first time someone subscribed live on a live stream. Thank you for that. Would you ever collaborate with an MPD abuse survivor channel? Oh, right. Yes and no. Depends, right? First of all, it's not a would I, it's a would they. Would someone who has been through MPD abuse, narcissistic abuse, really want to talk to me and actually want to hear about why it's not really all the fault of the person that they went through abuse with? Because I don't think they would, and I don't blame them, to be honest. And the other thing is, I didn't really do any of your classic MPD abuse relationship thing. I have no frame of reference. I can't sit and talk about what it's like to gaslight somebody or something like that. I can't. I never did. I don't know. I wasn't that kind of narcissist. I can tell you what it's like to think about taking over the world, and thinking you're better than everyone, and that everyone is just dumber than you are, and all of that kind of thing. But in terms of trying to control my partner, trying to, do things like that, no, it was never my thing. So I don't think. I mean, I would talk. There's no one I wouldn't talk to. That would be fine. But in terms of what I would talk about or what I could contribute to that would be helpful? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe another narcissist with more experience with that would be able to. I imagine that is very difficult to talk about. Um, the hardest bit of therapy was learning to accept the harm that you had done. Right? It was that moment of realization with all of the stuff that I had done that hurt people one way or another, with both personality disorders. Um, yes, yes, far more. In relationships, I'm driven far more by BPD than MPD. Far, 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 far more. Uh, Too much of a fear of abandonment. Too much of a people pleasing, wanting to fit in and just be loved, kind of thing. The Do you know what? Where MPD did and possibly does affect my relationships romantically is in I get a there is definitely a narcissistic hit based around having the partner that I have, if that makes sense, right? Um, in an insulting way, look at people like cars. You can get a shitty car and do it up and make it a Fast and the Furious car, which is awesome and impressive. But you had to do all that work and make it all. Or you can just be rich enough to go and buy a Bugatti Veyron. And I, in relationships, went with the just going to get the Bugatti Veyron thing, right? I would rather be with someone that, as they are, I am impressed by them and know that other people find them impressive or desire them or wish they were with them or something like that. That is where my narcissism in relationships goes to. It doesn't go to the controlling side of things because I don't want to fast and furious a person, right? I don't want to do that. I'm watching my video, my thing go up in views. Do you think it will get as far as the TikTok? The TikTok video is just past 6,000 views, by the way. Where are we on YouTube for that video? 174. It's definitely slowing down. Oh, I can see a bit of a creep on the graph. Yeah, I think that's it. I think it's going to hit around 200 views. So God knows how I'm doing that wrong. Oh, I'm missing the chat. Hang on. Sorry, I'm missing what you're all saying. Yeah, perfectionist partner perception. And do you know a lot of it was fed by my favorite person stuff as well? I think, certainly in my last relationship when my partner was my favorite person, then to me they were perfect. To me they could do no wrong, and you sort of assume that the rest of the world sees them that way. And that's why it's a jarring experience when you learn that the rest of the world never saw them that way. And now you don't see them that way either. That kind of thing. You have a question, please question away. Right, my ex, who I suspect is MPD, BPD, comorbid with a lot of other stuff, walked past my grandma house after New Year. What after NC? What's NC? Why? After no contact. He discarded me, abused me, and cheated, and is pregnant. Needs supply. He owes me money. He's not paying me. I delete emails. We spoke on there for only him to fight with me and rewrite history, etc. No, yeah. Um, why would he do stuff? Well, speculating, right? Entirely speculating because I don't always grain of salt. Don't know the person. Only have a paragraph of text to go on. So, not official advice, right? But speculating. Even with no contact, I imagine we need some time to burn ourselves out. Um, it's the last throes of death, that last sort of twitch, if you like. That said, again, I'm speculating. So whether he's got that point yet or not, I don't know. Oh, good night, Lenny. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for subscribing as well. Have a good night. So yeah, they do rewrite history, don't they? They do change things. Oh, he keeps popping up my graduation without inviting him, going to contact them months later. He emails me and ignoring me and smearing me. He claims he wants to give me things I didn't want. Yeah, that's one creepy dude. Ugh. Sounds like he's not moving on. You know, um, I don't know. I'm not the one to ask. I've had the romantic obsession stuff, which comes to me more through BPD. But even then, even with the obsession, it does eventually fade. And it doesn't take that long, it takes a couple of months. But it does go. And it eventually just feels silly to be caught up in feelings about that. Doesn't pay what he owes, tells me he got a girlfriend pregnant despite me. Yeah, I would. I mean, whatever. Keep up the no contact, right? Uh, that seems. Just don't worry about that. Just don't. Keep up the no contact. But I don't know. I don't know why they do it. I there are elements of look at me, but I still exist. A lack of moving on to anywhere, a lack of maturity, a lack of getting on. There's also some entitlement there. I've never felt the need to, you know, follow people around, that sort of thing. Um, and it got boring for me quickly. And I've had, perhaps a couple of months is a bit short for me. I'm trying to think on how long it went. Maybe 6 months or so with my ex. Um, it was a weird situation because that involved lockdown and a very long relationship and all that kinds of thing. That was a fairly unique situation. It wasn't just like we were dating or something like that. Um, in 2 or 3 years, yeah, I can see it going on. But even with the obsession, there are things you do and things you don't do. And with my most recent ex, a thing I got caught up in a lot was checking her Facebook page over and over, checking her Facebook page. And that grew old really quickly. It did reach a point where it's like, even I'm fucking sick of looking at her Facebook page 1,000 times a day, picking up my phone. Has she posted something? No, of course she's not. It's been 4 seconds since the last time I looked. And it gets boring. So I've never had someone obsess over me that long. And then, oh god, the flying monkey stuff. You know, but this one, yeah, we do. But I think that feels almost like you're actually answering your own question there. Once you've moved on, you forget people. Once you've moved on, and it doesn't sound like your guy has moved on at all. Um, Sorry, that sucks. YouTube, they alert me I've started my own show easily enough. They never get things. Yeah, that was me too. And even then, you're just looking, aren't you? I didn't. I eventually blocked her from all my social media. Um, because it became about. I knew she. It was. It wasn't that I didn't want her to see anything or that I was doing anything I had to hide from her, or vice versa. But it was about how I had a place where I could put things that I knew she would see. I knew if I posted something on Facebook, she would see it. Same goes for Twitter and Instagram. And that was affecting how I was behaving. I was definitely still posting things for her benefit one way or another. And that had to stop. So I blocked her. And that was like we are still friends. We share a dog. We get on okay, and I explained to her what I'd done and why, and she understood. That's fine. Uh, to a certain extent, it doesn't matter. She's my ex, right? Understand all you need to. Um, I did it. Um, how much move on do you need? He has another woman pregnant. He cheated on me with her, chased her. That's got nothing to do with moving on whatsoever, at all. It should. I grant you that if someone has stopped seeing you and is starting to see someone else and has even got this person pregnant, and he chased that, he pursued that person, that should definitely indicate in an ideal world that you've moved on. But nah, not at all. Not at all. Um, Excuse me yawning again. And I've done it myself, right? Not to that I've not gotten anyone pregnant, but I started seeing people when I wasn't over my ex. That was the thing, and it's the same thing. And even pursuing people, and it was because I a mix of things. Was I trying to use it to get over my ex? Was I thinking, I truly believing I was over my ex and thinking it was time to move on? There are so many things, and it's possible in different cases at different times I was doing different things, but I hadn't moved on. But I was still moving on with my life. That said, that doesn't feel like what your person is doing. Um, and I think that is he's a tosser. Yeah. Um, that's basically it. I, to say the very least about him. To say the very least. Um, yes, that's what I was doing. That's what I was doing. Or just passive aggressive stuff, because that was how she and I communicated towards the end. That was how I had to communicate, because anything that I had a problem with that I took there head on, um, got thrown back at me. So I couldn't have I couldn't go and like, excuse me, I feel like this because you've done this. That wasn't a conversation we could ever have. Um, so I got very passive aggressive as a way of communication. Really, um, you know, that's if you love them, don't end the relationship. Seek help and fix the relationship. That's not always possible. Um, I think you can love someone and know that it's time for a relationship to end. That's definitely where I was. I loved her very much at the end, and there was no way we were fixing that. There was no way we were fixing that. Um, sometimes what is wrong just can't be fixed by the people that are there to fix it. And it's a very sad thing. God, it's weird to say this so seriously because it's not that long ago I'd have been in floods of tears while I was trying to explain this. But no, I think, for us in particular, there were things that were never going to be fixed. There are so many unresolved and unresolvable problems there. Um, that you just had to end. We were toxic towards each other. Still can be, very much so. Um, and that's it. And you think when you think about all the different types of relationships where people stay and try to fix things and end up being murdered and that kind of thing, it's the thing. Um, just because you love someone is not a good reason to stay and try and fix a relationship necessarily. What triggers the obsession? Romantic obsession, fear of abandonment. From the BPD side, fear of abandonment. From the MPD side, it could simply be as much as someone has told you no. Right? Entitlement. I want that. I should have it. And the more you tell me I can't have it, the more I expect to have it. And so I can, you get that obsession. And plus you've got somebody who in somebody that doesn't want to be with you romantically, that is a rejection. And that doesn't sit well with the narcissist. That in itself shatters our perception of reality. How can you reject us? How can you not want to be with us? We're amazing. This does not fit in with our narrative. And there's also a frustration that you can't make a person love you. You can't make a person come back to you. Right? That's honestly, if I could give my younger self any advice about relationships, it's to end them all a lot quicker or see them as done with a lot earlier than I did. You can't make someone like you. You can't bring somebody back round to being in love with you. I don't think you can really rekindle things like that. I've never felt that way. I think it's a relationship. It's not about just trying, one person dealing with their own feelings. You have to have two people that want to fix the thing. So, yeah. Do you re-idolize? I don't. I never have. Once this has the other problem in that I don't split really as much anymore. I can't remember the last thing I particularly split on. But yeah, I can't. Once somebody has been split on, they can't go back to being the perfect thing because reality's too much in the way. That's how that goes. There's too much showing you that they're not perfect. And God knows what you're going to have to go through to get somebody back after a split as well. And that might not be doable from an MPD point of view. It is that, well, thank you. Yeah. It sounds like a painful. They all are. I mean, isn't it said that BPD is the most painful thing to live with? Yeah. That said, my dad is on like his fifth knee replacement because his knee joint keeps getting infected. and he's been really poorly and that kind of thing, and that's a fucking difficult, painful thing to live with too. So I don't know. It's all swings and roundabouts, isn't it? Really, pain is pain is pain. You know. But yeah, as I said, yeah, in the relationships thing, there's nothing you can do to get somebody back. So there is a frustration there for the NPD side of things. There is this idea that I should be able to do something about that. Do you know what? There's almost a desire to complain to the manager. I've had that feeling in the weirdest of situations. When Barkley died. So Barkley used to be my dog before Paisley was. And he was poorly for a little bit, a few weeks before he died. And so he'd been in and out of the vet most days, actually, for various blood tests, and come back tomorrow for more blood tests and that sort of thing. We'd taken him there a lot. And when he finally died, and we took him there to deal with his remains, I wanted to complain to somebody in the expectation that they could look at something on the computer or check something and be, oh my gosh, you are right, Mr. Smith. I'm so sorry. I'll just pop back and get your dog. He's actually alive and well. That the desire to do that was so strong. That bending of reality, like, no, there's nothing anyone can do about this. No one, would have not done it in the first, that sort of thing. Before you were in treatment, do you know your relationships were doomed? Ha ha ha, no. I guess I didn't want to believe it about the one I was in at the time. But before then, look, we're talking about relationships that I had in my late teens up to sort of my mid 20s. And then it was in my mid 20s that I met my ex and had the big long relationship. So all of my pre-therapy dating experience was sort of 15 years previous to therapy, and now anything that has happened after has been post-therapy dating experience. So the two are very different, and they're difficult to compare because they're so far apart, and as a 22-year-old you know fuck all. So especially about relationships. So did I not know whatever about relationship? Yeah, but I was 22, so who knew anything? I can't blame that on not having had therapy yet. That was young naivete more than anything else. And it's not, hi cat, it's not been therapy that has helped me learn that you can't make somebody love you. That wasn't anything to do with that. That was just, you know, that's just life experience, isn't it? I've had those really, because with BPD you try, right? And I can look back at those old relationships that I had when I was, almost but a child. And I can remember how I felt in those last days of things where it was clear things were breaking down and you're going to get dumped soon and all of that. And you'll do anything to make them just love you again and that kind of thing. And they can't. And that panic that comes with it. And now I wouldn't go through that now. I wouldn't try and change somebody's mind and try and get them to love me. That would, I would just give up on that pretty quick. I think if somebody, so because you can't change that. You can't make that happen again. You know, it's a weird one. Uh, And you're right there. Yes. If that's what you're doing, it's manipulation. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. All you're trying to do at that point is manipulate somebody into not leaving you when they obviously want to do. Um, and that's morally reprehensible, isn't it? That's not a good thing to do, and that is ultimately unsustainable. Right? You can right trying to keep someone with you indefinitely when you know they don't want to and you're manipulating them. That's got to be some form of kidnapping or coercion or something, isn't it? Right? You can't, that's not a way to live your life. You need somebody that actively wishes to be with you. You know, can you tell when you're in BPD versus MPD? Yes, there's usually an evil cackle that follows one of them. There really is, actually. There's usually an evil cackle that follows one of them. Um, that's how I know. That's the most honest answer to that. Sometimes when I'm in MPD, that I've got that evil grin that I'm thinking bad things, or I have a look of disgust because some form of fucking scum has pissed me off with their scumminess. That kind of thing. BPD is just a lot sadder and that kind of thing. Yeah, evil cackle. That's one. That's how I do it. Anyway, I'm going to call that one a night. Wow, this has been a long live stream. Thank you so much, everybody, for showing up. It's been so much fun chatting with you. I love doing this, and it's been so much fun since there's been more of you. And so, right, I'm still going to do this at 11 p.m. UK time, which is currently now GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, where the time comes from. I think the next time we do this, the 11 o'clock GMT will be 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But it might still be 7 p.m. I don't know. So I'm just going to say, look, I'm doing this 11 p.m. GMT. You do your own maths for where you live, or work on our time. That's probably the best way to do it, I think. We should just switch all the time that we export to being British time. I don't know why we customize it for different regions. Anyway. Gosh, it's been fun. And the digging wasn't too bad. I have one last. I'll see if they're still there. No. They've gone, but they've left a fucking hulking great big hole in the road. That's the thing they've done. So, anyway, you're saying I need merchandise. I have merchandise. I don't plug it, but I totally have merchandise. Where are we? Here's one. earlymorningbarking.myspreadshop.co.uk. We've got it all. We've got t-shirts. We've got hoodies that say do it tomorrow, that say romantic obsession, that say I throw tantrums, that say it's a BPD thing. We've got bags. Do you want a tote bag with Paisley on? You know you want a tote bag with Paisley on. You're not looking at this, are you? There we go. Tote bag with Paisley on. Merchandising. Early morning barking, the colouring book. Early morning barking, the lunchbox. Early morning barking, the water bottle. I'm working on some dog-shaped cereal. Early morning barking stickers. Do it tomorrow. How are they out of stock? I haven't sold any. Early, I throw tantrums. It's a BPD thing. Yellow sticker. That's why you can't see it there. What else have we got? Aprons. with paisley on and buttons that say "Do it tomorrow." This is the early morning barking, but there's another. What's the other one? Redbubble.com/early morning barking. This has slightly different stuff with the same designs on. How do we look at this? Clothing. Same stuff, slightly different. Dresses? We don't have dress. Why did it put that in there as an option then? T-shirts. I think aren't there hoodies on here? I thought there were hoodies on here. Hang on. There's a zipper. I don't like those. We have, yeah, shower curtains. Oh, yeah. God, I forgot about all this stuff. Because there's paisley face. And you can get... why do I not have that yet? I'll tell you why. Because it's £36. And this is why I don't plug this stuff too much. Because, look, I'm using a desk mat right now and it costs $9.99. It did not cost £36, and I don't think that one with a picture of my dog on is necessarily worth £36. So I don't really want to. And by the way, if you buy that, I don't get £36. I get like £5 or something like that. Most of this goes to Redbubble for whatever percentage. But I so want a paisley throw blanket for my bed. That's actually pretty awesome. Or a paisley tote bag, or a paisley shower curtain. I kind of like the paisley mug also, with many paisley faces on. Fridge magnet. Do we have fridge magnets? We might have fridge magnets. That seriously might be a thing on here already. Dog mat, because you had to get the pet blanket with paisley on it. Throw pillows, mugs, pins, magnet. What I tell you, a paisley dog magnet. There it is on a fridge. There must be other ones. So the way this one works, we go by design, I think, and then we can see all the things I've put that on. Oh, so this comes in sticker form and hoodie form and all this. But check both stores. Do you know what these are linked to in mature content hidden? It's just pictures of my dog. There's not like a range that's yeah. Anyway, check both sites. They are both linked to in every video. Honestly, there's a link in the description to both these stores in every early morning barking video. And pick what's best for you. I don't push them too much, because although some of this is quite cool, because I do want an It's a BPD thing throw pillow, they are very expensive things. And, you know, there's a reason why you've not seen me sat on a video wearing one of these t-shirts. And I get them cheaper than you guys, because I just pay the making fee as the creator, you know. So even then I put the order together and I'm like, fucking hell, that's a lot for a t-shirt, and I don't do it. So but if you guys want this stuff, yeah, do you know what this is also linked to on my YouTube page? Isn't it? There, store. It goes straight to Spreadshop. It's the BPD thing. And you can get these t-shirts in many colors. Totally doable. Also, while I'm showing you stuff, Wow, I'm showing you stuff. Don't forget, this is still out. We have the Living with BPD course, which is still here. Part 1 is out. Part 2 coming very soon. This is also available to buy on PayHip/Early Morning Barking. And I have a Buy Me a Coffee at buymeacoffee.com /barking, actually. Not /Early Morning Barking, because it was too many letters and they wouldn't let me have the username. So that's how that goes. Anyway, you lot take care. I'm going now because it's so late and I'm tired and I've been shouting at diggers and everything. Again, it's been an absolute delight tonight. I will see you all next week for another one of these. So take care. Have a good week. Bye-bye.